morning, everyone. Welcome back to Nestled In. I thought today you would like to see what I have on my Montessori shelves. On another video that I did recently about keeping your toddlers busy, I mentioned that I do some shelf work for my children, and it ends up being just some little learning centers and whatnot for them to do to keep them busy and happy while I work with my older child, and then we can kind of rotate around. My 4-year-old can come do some work with me, and then we rotate around, but they can be playing over there either in the toy bins that I rotate or on the shelf work. So I'll show you some of that shelf work today, and just let you know that some things are for fine motor skills. Everything has a purpose. It's not just for play. So we have some things for fine motor skills. We have some things to teach numbers. I usually have some sort of alphabet thing. Lately I've been adding more science type things, and I've even added some geography to it with just a simple puzzle of the world. And then I always add books to the load. So I love Usborne books, and this is a few that I have on those shelves right now. This one is Garden Sounds. So we've been talking about the garden and plants and how they grow. This one has the nicest sounds, okay? If you don't like those push button books that just, I don't know, they grate on me, but this one has really sweet sounds. So it just has a simple little button. So gentle sounds of the birds singing, and gentle sounds. Here's a cricket or a cicada or something. I have to read it again. There's a bee. Bees buzzing. So I always like to add those, and Usborne really always fits the bill for me. I really love Usborne. Here's another one. We're doing nature things in Maine. It's not easy to do It's not easy to do nature things all year round. So we try to do it in spring and summer, and then into fall too. So that's what we're working on, spring nature right now. And so there's seasons in this book, and these Lift a Flat books by Usborne are just beautiful. There's just a little bit of information underneath each flap. Not too much for your little guys, but enough to make it really interesting and fun. So I like to add these. Look at this. Here's the parts of the plant. So we plant a seed, and it shows how it starts to germinate. The worms are underneath, you know, and along it goes. So these books are great. This one's called Look Inside Nature. So I love to add these to my shelves for the kids to take and look at. Here's another one, an old classic that I added to this center. This center I don't have on the shelves. This center is more controlled by me. We did plant a little garden. We just used some eggshells as the pots. We each one got to scoop some dirt in and plant some seeds, and you can see they're starting to come up, because I also, at the little spot, I put a little spray bottle and they water. They really get a kick out of that, and then they can read the book. Another thing that I added to that, this one's at the little play table that I have, is this little printout, and this was free from christianbook.com. They had an ad one time on Instagram of free unit studies, and they're tiny. There's not a lot with each one, but anyway, it was enough for me, and I printed it out and laminated it, and now they are actually learning the parts of the flower. And then I put out some Play-Doh, and what they're doing with this is just using it as a Play-Doh mat. So they're molding the petals and putting in the stamen, the stigma, the anther, and whatnot. Do I know the parts of the flower? And the stem. And so that's a lot of fun too. We have a read aloud also that we're doing for spring. We're doing The Secret Garden, and we are starting to really enjoy this. It took a little bit for them to sit and begin to listen to this, but I've been working on their attention span, building it up little by little, and we've made it so that we can do a chapter every night. So that's our read aloud, The Secret Garden. First of all, I have, let's see, we'll start here with this one since it's right in my face. This one, I just used an egg carton. I colored on the top here a different color, and these little flowers are just free printables, and they're all different colors of the rainbow, and my little guy needs to match up the blue spot there with the blue flower and poke it in. So a little bit of fine motor and some color practice. And then I also put some numbers on here for the older kids. There's also a number written on there. So my 4-year-old can practice numbers 1 through 10 with these. And then they have also planted their own garden. I always put a book or something like that with each little center that I do, or each little shelf. So I have a couple of books in here too. When they get bored with that, they can then look at the book, and then it all goes back in the little bin here and back on the shelf. Another one I have is this one's for my older daughter, my 5-year-old, and she's working on recognizing numbers up to 20. So I found these little rainbow printables on Pinterest, and then she needs to just take some little pony beads, super easy, and put how many ever are on this card. So 11, put 11 beads on the card. And then this is just a book of little poems, and sometimes it says it's called Raindrops, but there's other poems, and you know, they're quite springy. There's the ducks and the babies and the frogs, and each one is a little poem. So that was really cute. That came out of her K5 material, and she read it and really enjoyed it. So I know that she can read that herself and enjoy it again in a different way. So that is another one. I have the same sort of center for my younger kiddos, but with smaller numbers. So here's a 5. Little ones would take the beads and put 5 on here. And those are numbers up to 10 for my 4-year-old and my 3-year-old. And then, since we're talking about rainbows, we have the big boat about Noah in there to go with that. I always like to include a cute book, and they seem to really enjoy that. Speaking of rain and rainbows, we've been learning a little bit about the weather. So I found this cute thing on Pinterest too. This little tray is one of the Melissa and Doug things that has letters in it. And I just put those in a Ziploc bag, and then I'm using this. This is attached at the top, and then they roll the shape. So they roll a triangle, then they get to cut a triangle off, a triangle raindrop off. It's just a really cute little thing for cutting practice. So I know that they're gonna enjoy that. Let's see. Then we are also learning about the life cycle of a frog. So I actually got this little set on christianbook.com, had a whole bunch of freebies, and these little circles have each part. So there's the egg, and there's a froglet, tadpole, maybe that's the froglet, and the frog, and they need to put them in the right place for the life cycle of a frog. I added the little number dots as a control to make sure they get the right answer. They can check their work. And then these little cards also came with it, the same sort of thing. The 3-part cards for Montessori work, and different, same images on those, just in card form, and then a T for tadpole. The book that I added for this is just Wonders of Nature, a little golden book, and it's really sweet. I love little golden books, the classic ones. So that's in there. And then when they finish with that, I just put it back up on the shelf. For some more number work, I have this very old thing I've had forever, Stencil Fun. I don't even remember where I got it. My oldest daughter had this, and she is, how old? 25-ish. So, but it's full of springtime things and making stencils of them. So there's kites and clouds. So I just put some plain paper in here, some colored pencils and crayons, and then they can trace the stencils and then color to their heart's content. So that's another one. This one is a Melissa and Doug one that's really nice. If you can find this, these are nice. These are little tangrams, and they would just put them on to make the puzzle. And there's quite a few more springy ones. There's a flower on the other side. There's a rabbit and a butterfly there, and so on. And they just put the shapes on. That's really good brain work for little ones to do. We have also been looking at butterflies, the life cycle of a butterfly. And so I found this freebie. It was part of Living Montessori Now, and I'll see if I can link that, but it's just a B for butterfly. I put little pom-poms in and some tongs, different size tongs, so it works the muscles a little bit differently. They would lay this down, grab a pom-pom, and then fill the little dots. So there's that. For the book that goes along with that, this beautiful book I got at a place near us, Coastal Botanical Gardens, and it's in Boothbay Harbor, Maine, and we just love going there. And I got this at their gift shop, but look at it, it's beautiful. And when you turn the pages, these little pages are small, and as you turn them, it has the whole life cycle there. Isn't that neat? So this is from American Museum of Natural History, actually, if you want to look that up. Sterling Children's Books. So that's what that little center is for. I call them centers because I was a classroom teacher and I did learning centers. These are Montessori shelf work things or centers, and I usually put things out for 2 weeks or so. If I find that one of them is going along really well, everybody has it really well in hand and everything, then I'll switch it out. But I don't move these things too much, because otherwise I'd be cutting things all the time, printing things all the time. And I have other things for my kiddos to do at the table too. So, but I do like to put these up, and I will put a picture up, try to embed a picture somewhere of my actual shelves and how that looks. So that's my Montessori shelf work for spring. So I hope that will inspire you, give you some ideas to put out some of these things for your little ones. If you need something that keeps them busy while you're working with an older child, or even just to add learning to their day, it's great even if you're just doing that. And we have really enjoyed it. I'll put a link below of another YouTuber that I follow, and she has great ideas for that. And mostly though, I find these things just on Pinterest, print them off, cut them out, color them, or whatever I need to do. I hope you enjoyed that. Please subscribe and like my video, because that helps me do more videos like that for you. Have a good day, everyone.